Tell us, what is it?
Okay, we're going to be talking about pig butchering this week.
Pig butchering, it sounds terrifying. Is it actual pigs? Is what I'm wondering.
No, definitely not actual pigs, although probably some of them are pigs, but it's not a fraud it's a fraud that takes place by slowly fattening the person up in order to make them ready for slaughter. And that's where the pig butchering comes in. It's the same as what happens when you're dealing with pigs. You feed them up a lot and then all of a sudden you put them on the slaughter block. So how this fraud works is really, really simple. I come to you and I meet you and I say, hey, Indy, uh, give me $1,000 to invest for you. 6 weeks later, I'll give you 2,000 back. You look at it and you say $1,000, not much money, and chance of doubling my money in 6 weeks. It's probably a scam, but you know what? I'm going to go along with it. So you put your $1,000 in. 6 weeks to the day, I come back and I say, there we go, Indy, $2,000 in your hand. And I walk away from you. I don't ask you for any more money. Don't do anything. I just walk away. And you're now looking at this and going, gee, I thought this was a scam. I've now got 2,000 bucks. This is really nice. And then I'll let a couple of weeks go by and then I'll give you another phone call and I'll say, hey, Indy, you know what? I've got a new project on the go. It's also going to be about 6 weeks long. Double your money. Do you want to come in on it? Why don't you invest $5,000 this time? And you go, yeah. Had 1,000, made two. So I'm not
Brilliant.
risking that much more. And there we go, $5,000, and you give me 5,000. 6 weeks to the day, true to my word, I come to you, I pop 10 G's in your hand. You now thinking I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Easy investment, lots of money made, really good. And I might even do a third one, but I might stop at the second one. But then what happens is I come to you and I say to you, Indy, after I'll leave you in the cold for a little bit because I want you to get anxious about why you can't invest more money with me because this is easy money that you're making. And then I come to you and I say, Indy, I've got a problem. You say, oh, what's the problem, Dave? Well, I've got this new investment, guaranteed, surefire, 6 weeks, we're going to double our money. But I've got to put down $10 million. And I've been told I cannot have more than 100 investors in this. They're not interested in people who are investing 5 or 10. We've got to invest 100,000 each. Are you in?
Is this the point? Is this the point where I go to my family and say, listen, guys, you've got to give me some money because I'm going to
No,
make some
this is
money
when
back?
you go and you just rent your house, take money out of your mortgage, whatever, because you honestly believe, you honestly believe that you're going to get this money back. And what happens is you go and you talk to your mates and you say to your mates, geez, look, I'm investing with Dave. He's been wonderful so far. His track record is sublime. And so you probably convinced 3 or 4 of your friends to also invest in this. So I've now raked in 400,000. And all of a sudden, when you phone up to find out where I am, my phone's gone silent. You cannot find me. And I've walked with your money. And that's how easy it is. And it's such an easy way of, because you're building trust and you're starting off slowly and you're little bits of money, I might start you off at $100 and work up to 1,000 and then work up to 5 and maybe even 10 before I go for the big hit of 100 or 200,000. And these guys are willing to invest in this because it's a proven technique of making a lot of money. In the scenario I painted for you, I'd have made 400,000 for an outlay of 15,000. It's such a win that how can you refuse? And
How are people getting away with this, Dave? I mean, surely the banks can track them. I mean, 400,000 isn't pocket change. How is it even possible?
well, a lot of the time when we're dealing with this, people are putting money into crypto. Crypto, while it's traceable, is really hard to trace through, especially when money goes through mixes and stuff like that. But we'll talk about crypto fraud in another episode. But a lot of times it's cross-border. We'll talk about cross-border frauds also, because they're very different. And as soon as you go cross-border, criminals work without borders. Law enforcement works within borders. And that's where we have a major problem. And that's why these guys are able to get away with what they're able to get away with.
I've seen where people get sent pictures of guys with guns and saying, if you go and tell anyone, I'm going to come and get you, that they kind of use fear and criminal tactics to make you afraid to go and even report it sometimes. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, if you do manage to find the person, or if you manage to contact them and say, listen, I'm going to report you to the authorities or whatever, all they'll do is they'll send you a picture of a guy holding a gun to the screen and say, you do, and I'm going to come and get you. It's just a simple fear tactic that's used in order to stop people from reporting them.
So I think what the moral of the story is also always report. Don't not report. We were talking about this other day about how important it is to get these stats, right?
A lot of people won't report crimes like this for a few reasons. One is embarrassment. Two is, where did they get the money from that they're investing? Was it from a legitimate source or not? And then there's also the police won't do anything. The police are overwhelmed at the moment with the amount of fraud that's taking place. And that makes it even more critical to report all fraud to the police, because they can then consolidate and say, oh, look, we've got a trend here of this phone number, this person interacting with maybe 50 or 60 people, and it's not 100,000 that's gone missing, it's 6, 10 million, whatever the amount is, which then makes it worthwhile going after. So yes, it's very important to report.